Right. So what we're going to talk about today is the nutrition for fat loss and how to eat to lose belly fat and keep it off forever. Just a quick introduction about myself. So my name is Matteo Maschetti, and not too long ago, I was just an average guy, working long hours, and I used to party a lot. 20 years old, right? And just like you, I was dreaming of having a more muscular and leaner body, and I was going into I was going to the gym. I always enjoyed working out, but it didn't really improve the way I looked. And I still had a belly, and I thought I was eating healthy, and I was probably eating healthy, but yeah, I wasn't really getting what I wanted. And so that led me on a path of learning and discovering until the day, I was able to crack the code and achieve, body transformation for myself and then for my clients. And when I was able to do that, so my inspiration were to get men like me inspired to become fit and healthy, and show that literally anybody, especially me, I was always been a chubby guy, so literally anybody can do it, no matter of your excuses or where you starting from, and that it's really possible to lose belly fat and keep it off forever. Another like a client story, because one of my clients was actually in a very similar situation of mine. When we started working together, Pierpaolo basically he was struggling to lose weight for many years, and despite these efforts, when we start working together, so before we start working together, he was training like 6 days a week, like training really hard, but he was struggling to lose the weight, and he was putting lots of effort. He tried different many diets, but again, he didn't achieve what he wanted. And then after we worked together, he was able to learn and finally achieve the body that he wanted, as you can see from the top left. And then it was actually, so that picture is from 2017, and the bottom one is actually, it was us on the beach this last summer. And so not only was able to lose 16 kilos, but he was able to maintain it for years and still today. So it's possible for everyone, for anyone. Obviously, today we're going to have a look at a little bit of information about food, calories, macros, because that helps. And also I'm going to give you different frameworks on how to apply it. But of course it can take time to learn these things, so you're going to be able to take away lots of things, but again be aware that as everything, it's going to take time to learn. It's going to take time to and even for the results to come, it's just going to take time. But being aware and have the information is definitely important and fundamental. So first of all, let's start with the weight loss versus fat loss, because what we really want to do, we want to lose fat. Why? Because if you ever look, weight loss equals muscle plus fat. So losing weight alone, it's not enough. Because otherwise, if you lose weight, you're just going to be a smaller version of yourself, and you're not going to be, aka more sexy, right? We want to be sexy. We want to have more muscle and less fat, and that's why we need to draw a line between weight loss and fat loss. So now weight loss is actually very, very easy. You just starve yourself and you do lots of cardio, and you will achieve weight loss. Like, very simple. Starve yourself and do lots of cardio, or even just starve yourself. If you starve yourself, you will lose lots of weight, guaranteed. But again, that's not what you want. First of all, you don't want to lose weight, and again, you don't want to starve yourself. And so fat loss is a little bit different, right? We want to lose fat, not lose weight. And so this is something that we're gonna look at. And for the same reason, a difference between cardio and lifting weights, because cardio is purely burning calories, which also we're gonna have a look at now. But lifting weights on the other side is going to make you build muscle and burn calories. So when we're looking at losing weight and losing fat, what we want to do, we want to maintain as much muscle and build muscles while losing as much fat as possible. That's what is going to give you the best body composition. That's what is going to make you look good. And so if you just do cardio again and you starve yourself, you're going to lose, you're going to burn lots of calories and you're going to lose weight. But again, we want to lose fat. And so lifting weights together with some nutritional intervention that we're going to look at, it's what's going to make the difference here. Let's talk about calories. So calories are basically the unit of energy in food. Food is therefore energy. Well, of course, there's also more of that than that. But let's, in terms of what we want to do, which is losing fat, let's have a look at food in terms of calories. Also, calories are also burnt by your body every second of every 6 seconds. So even if you don't train, you're still burning calories just to stay alive. But of course, you also burn calories when you train. Therefore, our body needs energy. That's why we need to eat. It's a basic need of our body. So you might be heard, obviously of calories in food and calories, burning calories. And so let's start from the simple equation, right? Which is calories in minus calories out. So this equation is gonna give us either weight loss, weight gain, or weight maintenance. So what we really want to do when we're trying to lose fat is achieve a calorie deficit. So the calorie deficit means that you burn more calories than what you eat, or basically you eat less calories than what you burn. Okay, so it's basically the same way of looking at it, but actually it's the same. But when you think about it, right? So because the first one, you burn more calories than what you eat, that might lead you to think that you might need to train a lot to burn those calories. But in reality, you can just eat less calories than what you burn and achieve the same result, which is a small difference, but not that small, especially because there's only so many calories you can burn during exercise, and also there's only so much time that you can spend exercising. So that's something to consider, right? And that's why we're looking into nutrition. So now that we talked about calories and you need the calorie deficit, cool. So now let's have a look at the macros, which is what food is made of. So first of all, the most important is protein. You probably heard about protein, right? Everyone goes to the gym, we need to eat more protein. But let's have a look why. So the main role of protein in the body is structural. Basically, you are made of proteins, right? Your skin, your muscles, right, are made of protein. And protein are essential. Basically, you cannot survive without adequate protein intake. Gram for gram, protein is the most satiating, aka filling macronutrient. Very important. Remember this. And 1 gram of protein has 4 kilocalories. Oh, I don't know why it says fat, but how much protein do you need? It depends on your lean body mass, right, in kilograms. So it depends on your body weight, but more specifically on your lean body mass. And it's basically between 2 and 2.8 grams per kilo of body mass. Remember, when we're talking about calories and especially macros, it's good to work within ranges rather than like set targets. And just to have a quick look through between what are some protein-rich foods, because obviously okay, these are protein, you need them, but where do you find them? And so obviously there are either animal sources or plant-based sources. Now, animal sources are meat, fish, eggs, dairy, and of course, whey protein or protein powders. And also, we have plant-based, so we have soy, tofu, beans, lentils, chickpeas, quinoa, and again, vegan protein powders. So these are all like protein-rich foods. So that's what you need to eat if you want to get proteins. Let's move to fats. Fats, so dietary fats, which has not to be confused with the fat on your body. So the food that you get from the fat that you get from food are called dietary fats. they're actually essential, first of all, to give the body energy, but also to support, cell growth. They help you to absorb some nutrients, like vitamins, and also they help the body produce hormones. And one of these hormones is testosterone, which is very important for us males to build muscles, to stay lean, and for general health. So without fats, we're actually screwed. We won't have like a healthy life. However, and that's probably, well, there is two reasons why has been demonized. One is because, it's the same name as the body fat. Fat. You eating fat, therefore it's fat. Nah, it's two different things. And the other one is probably because, gram for gram, fats are the most calorific macronutrient. It has 9 kilocalories per gram. You can easily overeat in calories when consuming fats. And also, you need to be aware of hidden fats because, again, it can skyrocket your calorie intake. So hidden fats could be anything from, like cooking oils, condiments, and especially when you eat processed food, they're usually full of, like fats, hydrogenated fats, trans fats, which are also not very healthy. Fat-rich foods are, there is fat in meat, there is a fatty fish, like, like salmon, eggs have fat, dairy, obviously, milk, and butter, which is almost like a pure form of a fat. And also, you have a plant-based fat-rich foods like avocado, nuts, seeds, olive oils, and other oils. So all these foods will provide you with fats and can therefore be, like high calorie, which is important for what we just looked before. All right, let's move to carbs. So this one is another one that can be quite controversial. So carbohydrates are actually the body's main source of energy, right? However, in their absence, your body will use protein and or fat for energy. Carbohydrates, like protein, provides about 4 kilocalories per gram. And again, carbs won't make you fat. There's just a form of energy, it's as a source of energy. Excessive calories will make you fat, like we just saw before. It's all about the calories at the end of the day. So the first thing that you need to look at is calories. And again, how much carbs do you need? Well, that depends on your activity level, right? How many calories you burn, and also how much like physical exercise you do. So the more physical exercise you do, the more carbs you might need. And normally we look in between 25 to 45% of the total calories. So, what are carbs? So carbs, obviously there are sugar, like, included in most biscuits, cakes, cereals, juices, but you also have, natural sources of sugar like fruit and honey. Then there are starches like bread, rice, pasta, and then there are fibers, that you can find in fruit, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. So those are all carb sources. So this is something that I came up with, and is the 3 nutritional levels. So this is important for you to understand because this will give you an idea of where you are right now, so at which level you are regarding to nutrition, and this will give you a clear idea on how to get to the next level, basically. So maybe have a little like exam with yourself, or I can help you with it, just to understand, okay, which level I am at, because obviously each level will bring more progress as you move throughout. So let's start with the level 1. So the level 1 is basically when you move from eating very unhealthy, so lots of processed food, lots of packaged food. You will know it, right, when you eat unhealthy. So the first stage, the level 1, is when you go from eating unhealthy to eating healthy. And this is usually where majority of my clients are at when they start working with me, right? They would say, hey, I eat healthy, but it's not really working. I'm still chubby. I still have fat around my stomach. And that's I call it level 1. So basically you're going from unhealthy to eating healthy. Great. If you do that, if you're eating unhealthy and you're going to start eating healthy, you will get some progress. You will feel better, and you might lose some weight. You might lose some fat. But again, you might be stuck in that level if you don't progress into the next one. So level 2 is when you eat, when you go from eating healthy but random to eat healthy and mindful. And basically what I mean is, you can eat healthy, but you can still eat the, I'm saying this word, but I don't really, wrong foods. What do I mean? You can eat, for example, if you eat donuts all day, well, you're probably eating unhealthy, right? But if you eat porridge, which is healthy, but if you eat porridge all day, that's still kind of random, right? Because, you need a good proportion of the 3 macronutrients. And so, this is the phase where you're going from eating healthy but random. So you might eat healthy foods, but it's random in the terms of like macronutrients and calories as well. And now, you might have a better understanding and you're like, okay, let me try to balance out. And so you're going from eating healthy but random to eat healthy and mindful with the right macronutrients in the right amounts. You start looking at portions, right? And again, if you're going from eating random to be a little bit more mindful, you're going to get some progress, right? You're going to get, actually, you can get like amazing progress at this stage. But again, if you are stuck at level 2, then your progress will stop. And so we need to go into level 3, which is basically, going from mindful. So yeah, I know I'm eating the right foods, right quantities, but you're going to go, if you want to get to the next level, to the ultimate level, you need to be precise. And this will be when you weigh food and you count calories, basically. You're getting really precise about what you eat. So obviously, the stuff that you need to do depends on the level that you are. If you're eating unhealthy right now, there is no point, going to level 3. You just need to go from level 1 to level 2, and then from level 2, you need to go to level 3. And that's exactly why I created my 4-step process. So basically, when a client starts working with me, step number 1, we will focus on fitness, and that basically means, we're gonna get the training on track, because again, that can make the difference, as we saw at the beginning, between just losing weight and losing fat and also building muscles. So we want to really get that in place first. Then step number 2, I call it eat more to lose more. So this is a stage where we basically eating more of the good foods. So we're not eliminating anything, we're just eating more of the right foods, and this is gonna help starting, it's gonna kickstart your fat loss. It's gonna give you more energy. It's gonna make you feel great. And then we move into step 3, which is burn fat and feed the muscle. So here we're getting a little bit more precise with what we eat to maximize muscle gain, to accelerate fat loss, and also making you feel good and having more energy throughout the day and more energy for your workouts. And then the step number 4 is a meal precision. So here, obviously, we're looking at calories. We're looking at, very in depth into macros, even just meal planning as well, like how to plan your meals throughout the days, what to eat at different times of the day. So, you're really precise and you're maximizing your nutrition. I'm going to start by giving you some actionable things that you can do to start your fat loss journey. And I'm going to make it very simple. So, you can literally go away from this call and start working on it. But again, it might just need some work and it might need time, but this is exactly what you can do to achieve the goals. So first of all, we saw how important are proteins. Therefore, you need to eat protein every meal. I would say maybe like 80% of my clients that come working with me, when we start working together, they're not eating enough proteins. So you really need to eat protein at every meal. And so, for example, let's take Matteo. He's 80 kilo, has 15% body fat. So therefore, his lean body mass is, let's say, 68 kilos. So I'm going for a 2.4 grams of protein per kilo of lean body mass, which is going to give me 160 grams per day. So Matteo needs to eat 160 grams per day. Now, I can either do that, divided by 5 meals or 4 meals, depending on, how many meals you're eating per day. So that could be either 30 grams of protein per meal or 40 grams per meal. But the takeaway here is that you need to eat protein every meal. And it's better if you can divide the total amount of protein that you need to eat per the number of meals. Then the second step is to eat vegetables and fruit at every meal. So vegetables and fruit, of course, are very important because they have, lots of vitamins, minerals, lots of nutrients that your body needs to feel good. And when we're talking about fat loss, as I told you before, you will need to get in a calorie deficit, right? You basically need to reduce the amount of calories that you eat, but not the amount of food, the amount of calories. So you can eat lots of food if you're eating, lots of vegetables. So you don't actually have to starve yourself. You can eat lots of food, but you need to eat the right food. And so when you start eating, protein every meal, when you start eating vegetables every meal, you're eating lots of food, but you're not really eating many calories, which is the goal, right? And again, fruit, again, very important, full of nutrients. You can eat that at not every meal, but some meals you can have fruit, especially if you don't want to eat vegetables, like maybe some snacks. You don't really want to have vegetables. You can have fruit instead. This is going to help you to limit. Again, you want to limit the amount of calories that you eat. And so, you might need to limit the amount of carbs that you eat, depending, of course, on your activity level. And so one thing that really helps is to eat majority of your carbs around the workout. So instead of eating, carbs all day long, eat it either after the workout or before and after the workout. So this will really help you to limit the amount of carbs and the calories that you eat in a day. And also avoid high fat and high carbs meals. Why? Because if you're eating a high fat and high carb meal, that's basically going to be loads of calories, right? You only have so many calories. You have like a calorie allowance in your day. And so you don't want to eat everything in one meal. So I found it really helpful to have either a high fat or a high carb meal, but never together. So that's really it's going to help you to keep your calorie intake in check. And one thing that really helps is to know the difference between low and high GI carbs. I actually have an infographic here. And basically why? Low GI carbs will basically make you feel fuller for longer, simply put. And why is that important? Well, again, you're basically in a calorie deficit. If you eat high GI foods, you will get hungry fast, and that's not good. Feeling hungry is not pleasant, right? It's kind of needed when you're trying to lose fat, but you don't want to feel hungry all the time. Otherwise, you're just gonna screw. It's just gonna screw you, and you might want to eat, and therefore, you're not gonna be in a calorie deficit. So try to eat as much as possible of foods from, carbs from the low GI, which is not like fruit, whole grains. For example, like brown rice is a low GI, while, white rice is a high GI. So if you're eating white rice, you'll probably get hungrier a little faster than eating brown rice. Also very important, right? Eat when hungry. It might sound silly and simple, but how often do we eat for boredom or for stress, right? Not everyone, but some people do, like I do. And it's very important to start listening to your body and eat only when hungry. This is like a very simple yet effective way to limit your calorie intake, basically, because if you eat when you're bored, then you might be snacking all day, and as you can imagine, that's going to increase your calorie intake. And the other one is to stop eating when you are 80% full. So instead of stuffing yourself, which again might lead to overconsumption of calories, stop eating when you are 80% full. So this is a very simple way. And again, it will take some time to understand and to practice. But if you can stop eating when you are 80% full, that's going to produce into less calories. And therefore, it's going to make your fat loss journey easier. So I want to talk about Marshall. So Marshall came to me after trying to lose weight for a long time. He tried different diets, different workouts, but nothing really worked. And going through the steps, going through the process, understanding the different macros, understanding the calories, we were able to achieve. He was able to achieve the body and the confidence he deserved and that he wanted, and he made it into a lifestyle which is easy to sustain. He's actually blown away by how easy it is now to maintain its level of leanness. And it's actually very easy. because again, he made it into a lifestyle. And also Luke. So Luke gained weight after moving to a new country, and also, he stopped playing hockey, so he was really active before. Because of that, he surpassed the 100 kilo mark. And then we start working together again. We start eating the right foods. We also build, different habits around food, and we made it sustainable. And so basically, he was able to get down to 90 kilo and maintain it. He actually maintained it over Christmas, which is it was blown away from that. And the reason why he was able to, even keep it off during Christmas and over time is because once you understand the principles of, what I just told you, then you don't need to follow a diet. Once you know the principles, you just do it. You look at food and you already know what you're eating. Basically, the reason of this presentation is because I want you to look at food and know what you're eating, or at least know what you should be eating and how you should be eating in a day, because that's gonna make it sustainable. What's next? Obviously, I wanted to share with you what I found, being really helpful and was working for my clients. But I know, information can be useful, but sometimes, you need that extra step of application, not just information, but application. So if you're wondering, okay, where I'm at, what level I am at the moment, and you want some extra guidance on how to take it to the next level, to the next step, and you want to achieve your goals, then I'm going to actually offer you a free consultation. So it's going to be a 15 minutes call where, I want to hear more about your particular situation. Yeah. And then, discuss how we can move forward on, even if it's just to tell you what to do, I'll be happy to just, share more information and more application for you.